Hello, 7th and 8th graders, and welcome to Lesson 9-1 on mean, median, mode, and range. So our first vocab is measure of central tendency. And what we're talking about with that is we're talking about when we have a single value that summarizes how a set of data is centered. So whether you're looking for trends, whether what thing is most common, or is found in the middle, or is most likely, or is the average, all of those are types of central tendency. So the most common type of central tendency is mean. And that's what you've learned about at least since 5th grade. And you've learned that mean means average. And the way that you find the average is you find the sum of all the different data numbers given, and then you divide that by the number of different data items. And that gives you your mean or your average. Okay, so for example, if we were to add up 1 plus 2, if this was our data set right here and we wanted to find the mean of it, we would add all these numbers. So we've got 8 and 8 is 16, 4 and 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so 10 plus 16 is 26, plus 2 is 28. And then I would need to divide 28 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 28 divided by 6 gives us 4.66666 repeating. So if I were to round that, it would be 4.7. Okay, so if I were to find the mean, it would be 4.7. I added them all up and then I divided by the amount of numbers that there was. But sometimes the mean is not the most helpful measure of central tendency because sometimes a mean can be very misleading. For example, if I'm doing test averages and I have one person who gets a 40 and everyone else has B's and A's, that 40 is going to really bring down that mean or the average. So I might look at a different measure of central tendency, such as the median. Now, median means middle. All right, and the way that you find the median is you put all your numbers in numerical order and then you work in from the outside till you get to the center. I remember that because to me median sounds like the center median on a highway, which is in the middle of the two highways. So middle of the two highways, center median, or it actually also looks like the word medium to me. And if you had small, medium, and large, medium would be in the middle. So that makes sense to me too. Now, in order to find the median, like I said, if we use this data set, we would have put them in order. They're already in order from least to greatest. If they weren't, I would have to do that first. And then I'm just going to work in from the sides. So I'm going to cross off the 1 and the 8, and then the 2 and the 8, until I get to the middle. Now in this case, I have two numbers in the middle. If I only had one number in the middle, that would be the median. If I have two, then I need to add them up and then divide by 2, which is the same thing as finding the mean or the average of those two middle numbers. So 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So in this case, my median is going to be 4.5. And notice that in both of these cases, none of these numbers are actually 4.5 or 4.7, and yet that's what we get for our measure of central tendency. There's one more, though. We've got the mode, and the mode is what is the same thing as finding what happens most often. This one's easy to remember because you got MO and MO, mode, most, mode, most, mode, most, mode, most, most, mode. That's a tongue twister. Try and say that 10 times fast. So the mode is what happens most often. And the thing about modes is that you might have one mode, like up here. Do I have any number that occurs more often than the others? Yeah, 8, right? 8 occurs 2 times. All these other numbers only occur once. So our mode would be 8. But sometimes you might have 2 modes. If I had in this data set another 4 right here, then my mode would be 4 and 8 because both 4 and 8 occur more than once. If I had another 5, I'd have 3 modes, 4, 5, and 8. But if all of the numbers occur the same amount of times, if they all occurred twice or if they all occurred only once, then that is considered to have no mode. Okay? All right, let's get into an example here. So our first example, it says find the mean, median, and mode. All right? Now I've got this data set here, and the first thing I'm going to do is put it into numerical order. Okay? And I'm going to start with my smallest number, and because I've got some negatives here, it's a little tricky because remember the biggest negative numbers are actually the smallest numbers. While I do it, I'm going to cross them off to make sure that I don't write the same number twice. So I got -5, -5. Okay, now that I have them written in that order, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to find the mean. So to find the mean, I'm going to add up all these numbers, and I'm going to make sure, oh, see, I almost missed this one. +2. I'm going to make sure that I don't get mixed up with my signs. I can use a calculator or I can do it, with pen and paper, but I'm going to do that. And I get, when I added all these up, I got -30. Okay, and after I added them all up, I need to divide it by the amount of numbers there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So I'm going to divide it by 10, which means that my mean is -3. Okay? Now next let's find our mode. So remember the mode is the one that occurs most often, and having them in order like this makes it really easy. -5 occurs 1, 2, 3 times. This is only twice, that's only once. This is 3 times. So how many modes do I have? 2. My mode is -5 and -2. Okay, and then what about the median? So I already put my numbers in order from least to greatest. So now I just need to work my way in. So I'm going to cross off this one and this one, then this one and this one, then this one and this one, then this one and this one. And I ended up with 2 numbers in the middle. So I'm going to add them up. -4 and -3 is -7. Divided by 2 is -3.5. So that is my answer. I want you to follow those same steps for example B. All right, here's the next thing. So we've got range. Range stands for the spread. It's really easy to find this. All we're going to do is subtract the smallest number from the biggest number in the data. So going back to A, our smallest number, okay, was -5, and our biggest number was 2. So what is 2 minus -5? I am subtracting a negative, which is the same thing as adding a positive. So I get my difference is 7. So that's my range. My range is 7. Find the range for B. All right, here's a new vocab word, outlier. An outlier is a data item much higher or lower than the rest. And this has a big effect on the mean. I kind of said that before when I was explaining the test values. You can determine how much an outlier affects the mean by finding the mean without it and subtracting that from the mean including it. What does that mean? All right, so what I'm going to do here is look at this. This is a whole bunch of, this is the data of the wages that people made working at a certain fast food chain, okay? Say it's McDonald's. This is what everybody makes per hour. So we got some 7.25s an hour, we got some 8 an hour, and then over here we've got this 15 an hour. So when we add up all these numbers, including the 15, and then we divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, this 15 is going to really bring up that mean. We want to know how much it's going to bring it up. So we're going to do 2 different things and we're going to compare them. Okay? So first I'm going to find the mean without the 15. So we're going to add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, those 11 numbers, and we're going to divide it by 11. And then we're going to add up all of them, including that one, and we're going to divide it by 12. And then we'll subtract this from that. Okay? So pause the video, do that, and then check to see if you got the same. All right, so when I added up all of the numbers without 15, I got 86.5, and then I divided it by 11 and got 786, When I added in that $15, I got 101.5 divided by 12 gave me $8.46. And then I subtracted those numbers and I got a difference of 60 cents. So the difference is 60 cents. That's the effect that the outlier had. Okay, try that same process using this data set down here. Go ahead and get to work.